See how this goes. All right. Hello, 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 hello. Good morning, and good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Daring Dialogues. I hope that everybody is having a great and wonderful day. I am on Spill, and I'm trying to figure out how to work Spill at the same time that we are working Daring Dialogues over on YouTube and also on Instagram. So right now, Spill is pretty much, it looks like it is sort of a talk and text in real time feature. So I am texting and asking everybody, how is everyone doing? So we'll see if we get some responses back. Uh-oh. So let me see, how is everyone doing? Spill. Let me see. Join me at the link for a live show. Add link, HTTP. Let's see if we can grab them and bring them over to YouTube. Um, YouTube.com/at Live Nation KC. Okay, next, spill. Oh, it says if you pull down the tab under the title, you can start live audio. Okay, there we go. Somebody's over here helping me. Start live video. Let's do that while using the app. All right. Thank you all so much. Yay! Thank you so much for the person who gave me that tip. Who is that? I think Rainbow Soul Poet. Thank you so much. I was trying to figure out how to start the video here, so hopefully people see me. Hopefully. All right. And good morning. I am also on YouTube. I did place the link there just in case something happens in program here. Good morning. I'm also on Instagram at Daring Dialogues, and I'm on YouTube. We're all live right now. All right. So thank you for tuning in. My show is Daring Dialogues, and this is Monday Motivation. And I have one mod, so I do appreciate that mod coming in on YouTube and helping out there. As you know, I see a lot of people from India on my YouTube channel, but as you know, here today is Inauguration Day, and it's also MLK Day, and we are focusing on MLK Day. We're probably going to be reading the transcript a little later today about the inauguration, but not our focus this morning. Our focus this morning is some encouragement and some motivation. So I want to read to you our motivation for today. It's coming from a book by Dennis Kimbrough entitled Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice, Daily Motivations for African American Success. And the topic is a dime a dozen. Booker T. Washington, educator, said this: excellence is to do a common thing in an uncommon way. And good morning to those of you coming in. There's so much talk about excellence today. Ours is a society obsessed with excellence. Are you striving to be your best? Are you committed to excellence, or are you average? Though each of us is average in different areas of our lives, how great it is to be excellent. Successful individuals like the famed educator Booker T. Washington encourage us to do our best. Success may involve talent, explained the celebrated choreographer Alvin Ailey, but excellence involves you. If we are to move ahead as a people, warned former U.S. Congressman Shirley Chisholm, we must strive for the highest standards. Achievers know the difference between average and excellence. Excellence means standing up to life, living your life for a cause greater than yourself, so future generations will know that you played a role. The successful are remembered for their contributions, and the failures are remembered because they tried, but the average are just forgotten many times. So strive to make excellence your standard. A commitment to excellence is the antidote to mediocrity. You need only to stand up and choose personal excellence. This act alone will guarantee your success. So, I want to ask you a question. What is it about your life that you are trying to do in an uncommon way? That's the question and the thought that I want to leave you all with. What is it that you're doing in your life that you're doing in an excellent way? Is there anything in your life that you've looked at and you said, I want to be the best at that thing? I want to conquer it. I want to be known for it. One of the things that I'm working on right now is my music. I produced two albums so far. You can find them on Spotify under my name, Shantae Charles. And I produced three more songs last year that I have yet to release this year. I'm just making sure that I get all of my copyright and stuff in place before I start releasing this new set of music. But it was interesting because I've been sort of thinking about the two projects that I did before, and I know that I had some measure of success, but obviously not mainstream success, right? Or you would know my music and my songs. So as I was thinking about that this morning, I got a call from my director. And again, my name is Shantae Charles. I got a call from my director um, from a part of what I do professionally. And I had given them a copy of my music, I think in the summer when we had like one of our um, team meetings. And they called me today and they were like, you know what? I finally got a chance to plug your music into my car and, take time to listen to your music. And they were like, and it's really good. And I just laughed. I just started laughing because I was like, did you think I was going to give you something that wasn't good? Like, did you think I was going to give you trash? Um, Look at all the other areas you work with me in that you are excited about because you say I'm excellent, right? So why would I give you something in another area that's not excellent? But I just kind of kept my thought to myself. I just chuckled a little bit and I said, and she was like, "You got any more music?" I was like, "Yeah, actually, I actually have another CD and I have more music coming this year." And she was like, "Oh, that's really good. I'm glad you're continuing." And so I just chuckled at that, and she was like, "Yeah." And my cousin got in the car with me, and I was bumping the music, and he was like, "Who is that?" And she was like, "I told him it's one of the professionals I work with for education." And I said all that to say, you have to keep going at what you feel that you are called to do, what you feel passionate about, right? Because ultimately, I have to first make music for myself. I have to make something that I am passionate about. I have to have lyrics that I'm passionate about. Um, I have to sing what I actually feel passionate about. I can't just, I know there are some people, but I'm not one of them. I have to sing something that makes sense for me. Like, I write my own music, I produce, um, I have a team of musicians that come that help me with the music part, but I play by ear. So I give them, like instrumentation. I kind of give them the framework for the music and stuff like that. So when I create, I have to create in a way that makes sense for me. I have to produce something that makes sense for me. Um, I have to sing what makes sense to me. And I think the message that you can take away from from the message this morning about excellence, is whatever you do, whatever you have a passion for, do it to the best of your ability. Do it to the best of your ability. And so, um, as I figure out how to end this spill the tea, I want to thank those of you who are on here. I look forward to coming back on Spill and communicating with you all some more. But I wanted to make sure that I got on the platform. I'm still getting to know the tools, and I want to thank all of you who are on Spill. I feel really good about this particular app. I'm telling people on other platforms, Instagram, YouTube, um, to check out the app Spill. I feel such a positive energy when I log in over here, which is why I'm trying to learn this app as quickly as possible so I can get into engaging people who are here faster. But there is such a positive energy on this app, and I'm excited about that. Um, TikTok, I was over there. I was not a, what do you call it? I was not a part of the creator program or whatever. So I don't feel like I'm losing anything by not being on TikTok. Um, but I'm really liking what I see on Spill. So I'm going to sign out of Spill now, and hopefully um, I'll come back on next Monday, um, 11 a.m. I'll try this again. And until then, I hope you all have a great and wonderful day. That's how I feel about my poetry. Exactly. I write poetry as well. My second album, I did spoken word. Um, so my second album is a mix of poetry and music. And again, you can check it out on any platform. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Google Play. I'm on Amazon Music. I think I'm on Tidal. Um, I know my whole all my album work is up on YouTube. It's under my name, Shantae, Shantae Charles, Charles. So you want to check out any of my music. I'm on Pandora as well. All of my music is officially registered. My music label is God Ideas Music. But yes, you can catch me on any streaming platform. All right. And again, as I said, I have more music coming out this year, later this year. So, Let's see. Can anyone help me figure out how to end this broadcast? Let's see. Um, I've figured out how to screenshot. Let's see if this is the ending for it. Nope. Same place. Pulling it up. Okay. So if I pull this up, I see it says still something. Um, there we go. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say goodbye to my still family, and hopefully I will see you again Monday at 11 a.m. Thank you all so much. Take care. I'm going to try this again. Let's see. There we go. All right. Woo. That was, yeah. So I know I'll probably be using Spill and YouTube in the future. I really like Spill. Um, this was the setup. So it was a tea party. They call it a tea party over there. And you go live. And the people were actually helping me try to figure out the tools as I was talking, which was really, really encouraging. All right, before we read a little bit of Dr. King, let's come down here in the comment section and see what we have going on YouTube because I see that we need to block a few people. All right, am I ticklish? That's a question this morning. Am I ticklish? Yes. Are all of my good close friends ticklish? Yes. How do I know that you're a good friend? You're ticklish. Let's see. Roddy, Jay, Shri, Krishna, hello. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Rajender, good morning. Good morning. Mr. Lopez, yes. Mr. Lopez, we are in fact aware that we are the Creator's temple and that the Creator dwells within us. We talk about that all the time over here. Shout out to Hadlu. I hope I'm saying that right. Hello to O. Hello to Shiva Sharma. My name is Shantae. I am well. I am from the United States. Hello to Mahidar. Hello to Eleanor. Um, Carl says less than 2 hours before the golden age of America begins. Um, Carl, you might want to look into the golden age. Go do some history on the golden age and why it wasn't golden for everybody. Ryan asked me, do I like swinging from tree to tree in the jungle? Well, actually, Ryan, not in the jungle, but I have swung from tree to tree before when I was a kid. I used to do it all the time. I was a tomboy, as they say. One time I missed a branch, fell several feet on my back, knocked myself out, woke up. I was still on the ground, but I survived it. But I won't try that again. All right. Saeed says hi. Khan says, which country? United States. Um, Aishi says that they're a dance teacher. Very cool. Show you a video dance. Um, Ashish, if you follow me on TikTok at Daring Dialogues, I have several video dances over there. Sunny says, hello, how are you doing? I am fine. How are you? Josiah says, Willie, which is interesting because that's my father's name. Rest in peace. All right, so I think I've answered all of the comments so far on YouTube. Let's look at my Instagram. good morning over on Instagram. Thank you all for bearing with me as I was learning a new platform. So you all got to see me go through my growing pains. Now I want to read from someone keeps saying my voice is too low to understand. Is that better? Hopefully, volume wise. We're going to be reading from Dr. King's book, Why We Can't Wait. Why We Can't Wait. And two things we're going to read from here, just an excerpt. He talked about things and techniques that were trying to thwart Black people's dreams and aspirations. Unfortunately, we live in a society right now that is still bent on trying to thwart Black people's dreams and aspirations. So even as Dr. King is no longer with us, his words still resonate. Um, his words are prophetic, as some people would say. And the sad fact is, so many of his warnings are still appropriate for today. So let's take a look at what he says, and I'll find a good place to stop. He says, in the past decade, still, another technique had begun to replace the old methods for thwarting the Negro's dreams and aspirations. This is the method known as tokenism. The dictionary interprets the word token in the following manner: a symbol, indication, evidence as a token of friendship, a keepsake, a piece of metal used in place of a coin, as for paying car fare on conveyances operated by those who sell the tokens, a sign, a mark, an emblem, a memorial, an omen. When the Supreme Court modified its decision on school desegregation by approving the pupil placement law, it permitted tokenism to corrupt its intent. It meant that Negroes could be handed the glitter of metal, symbolizing the true coin, and authorizing a short-term trip toward democracy. But he who sells you the token instead of the coin always retains the power to revoke its worth and to command you to get off the bus before you have reached your destination. Tokenism is promise to pay. Democracy, in its finest sense, is payment. The Negro wanted to feel pride in his race. With tokenism, the solution was simple. If all 20 million Negroes would keep looking at Ralph Bunche, the one man so exalted a post would generate such a volume of pride that it could be cut into portions and served to everyone. A judge here, a judge there, an executive behind a polished desk at a carpeted office, a high government administrator with a toehold on a cabinet post, one student in a Mississippi university lofted there by the Army, three Negro children admitted to a whole high school system of a majority city. All these were tokens used to obscure the persisting reality of segregation and discrimination. For a decade, the hard struggles had culminated in limited gains, which, if they advanced at all, crawled sluggishly forward. Schools, jobs, housing, voting rights, and political positions. In each of these areas, manipulation with tokenism was the rule. What did MLK say? Manipulation with tokenism was the rule. Negroes had begun to feel that a policy was crystallizing, that all their struggles had brought them merely to a new level in which a selected few would become educated, honored, and integrated to represent and substitute for the many. Those who argue in favor of tokenism point out that we must begin somewhere, that it is unwise to spurn any breakthrough, no matter how limited. This position has a certain validity, and the Negro freedom movement has more often than not attained broad victories which had small beginnings. But there is a critical distinction, however, between a modest start and tokenism. The tokenism Negroes condemn is recognizable because it is an end in itself. Its purpose is not to begin a process, but instead to end the process of protest and pressure. It is a hypocritical gesture, not a constructive first step. My. I've gone into the Negro's resentment of tokenism at some length, for I believe that analyzing his feelings about it will help to elucidate the uncompromising position he takes today. I think it will explain why he believes that half a loaf is no bread. I think it will justify his conviction that he must not turn back. As I write at the end of the first long season of revolution, the Negro is not unmindful of or indifferent to the progress that has already been made. He notes with approval the radical change in the administration's approach to civil rights and the small but visible gains being made on various fronts across the country. If he is still saying not enough, it is because he does not feel that he should be expected to be grateful for the halting and inadequate attempts of his society to catch up with basic rights he ought to have inherited automatically centuries ago by virtue of his membership in the human family and his American birthright. You know, that thing that they're trying to end. Yeah. In this conviction, he subscribes to the words of President Kennedy uttered on June 11, 1963, only a few months before his tragic death. We are confronted primarily with a moral issue, and we still are. It is as old as the scriptures and as clear as the American Constitution. The heart of the question is whether all Americans are to be afforded equal rights and equal opportunities. And here we are in 2025 still asking that question, which tells us we haven't really moved as far as we think we have. Those who do nothing are inviting shame as well as violence. Those who act boldly are recognizing right as well as reality. How very appropriate for today. Now, last passage from King. This is in his chapter 8, The Days to Come. The Days to Come. As one approaches the emancipation of today's Negro from all those traumatic ties that still bind him to slaveries other than the physical, this shadowed footnote, this half forgotten history of a system that bartered dignity for dollars, stands as a painful reminder of the capacity of society to remain complacent in the midst of injustice. And here we are again, with a passive society complacent in the midst of injustice. Today's average American may well shudder to think that such tawdry transactions were acceptable to his grandparents' parents. Yet that same American may not realize that callous indifference to human suffering exists to this day, when people who consider themselves men of goodwill are still asking, what is the Negro willing to pay if we give him his freedom? This is not to say that today's society wants dollars and cents in order to grant the Negro his rights, but there's a terrible parallel between the outstretched and greedy hand of a slave trafficker who sold the Negro his own person and the uplifted and admonishing finger of the people who say today, what more will the Negro expect if he gains such rights as integrated schools, public facilities, voting rights, and progress in housing? Will he, like Oliver Twist, demand more? And here we are in 2025 with those basic civil rights being rolled back. So, yeah, we're going to demand more. What is implied here is the amazing assumption that society has the right to bargain with the Negro for freedom, which inherently belongs to him in the first place. Some of the most vocal liberals believe they have a valid basis for demanding that in order to gain certain rights, the Negro ought to pay for them out of the funds of patience and passivity which he has stored up for so many years. What these people do not realize is that gradualism and moderation are not the answer to the great moral indictment, which in the Revolution of 1963 finally came to stand in the center of our national stage. What they do not realize is that it is no more possible to be half free than it is to be half alive. In a sense, the well meaning or ill meaning American who asks, what more will the Negro want? Or when will he be satisfied? Or what will it take to make these demonstrations cease? Is asking the Negro to purchase something that already belongs to him. by every concept of law, justice, and our Judeo Christian heritage. Moreover, he is asking the Negro to accept half the loaf and to pay for that half by waiting willingly for the other half to be distributed in crumbs over a hard and protracted winter of injustice. I would like to ask those people who seek to apportion us rights they have always enjoyed whether they believe that the framers of the Declaration of Independence intended that liberty should be divided into installments, doled out on a deferred payment plan that they've never been on. Did not nature create birth as a single process? Is not freedom the negation of servitude? Does not one have to end totally for the other to begin? It is because the Negro knows that no person, as well as no nation, can truly exist half slave and half free, that he has embroidered upon his banners the significant word now. The Negro is saying that the time has come for our nation to take that firm stride into freedom, not simply toward freedom, which will pay a long overdue debt to its citizens of color. Centuries ago, civilization acquired the certain knowledge that man had emerged from barbarity only to the degree that he recognized his relatedness to his fellow man. Civilization, particularly in the United States, has long possessed the material wealth and resources to feed, clothe, and shelter all of its citizens. Civilization has endowed man with the capacity to organize change, to conceive and implement plans. It is ironic that for so many years the armed forces of this nation, even in time of war, were prisoners of the Southern system of segregation. The military establishment could tear a man away from his wife and child and reorient within weeks his entire mode of life and conduct. But not until World War II did the Army begin to conceive that it had the right, the obligation, and the ability to say that a white man in uniform must respect the dignity of a black man in uniform. We need a powerful sense of determination to banish the ugly blemish of racism scarring the image of America. Is the sense of determination here? It's not. We don't see that sense of determination in 2025. We see people going along to get along, that we see. We see some tokenism that happened this weekend. But this sense of determination to banish the blemish of racism scarring the image of America, why most people are putting makeup on top of it and acting like it's not there. We can, of course, try to temporize, negotiate small, inadequate changes, and prolong the timetable of freedom in the hopes that the narcotics of delay will dull the pain of progress. We can try, but we shall certainly fail. The shape of the world will not permit us the luxury of gradualism and procrastination. Not only is it immoral, not only is it immoral, not only is it immoral for a country that claims that God has created it, not only is it immoral, it will not work. It will not work because Negroes know they have the right to be free. It will not work because Negroes have discovered in nonviolent direct action an irresistible force to propel what has been for so long an immovable object. It will not work because it retards the progress not only of the Negro, but of the nation as a whole. Martin Luther King Jr., the Reverend, the Doctor, Martin Luther King Jr. I highly recommend if you have never read this book, Why We Can't Wait, along with his other book, Where Do We Go From Here, Chaos or Community, I highly recommend that you purchase this book. I am not sure why people cannot hear me because I am talking really loud. So I'm not sure on YouTube why people are not able to hear me. I do have the volume systems all the way up on my end. So you might want to check your volume on your end, okay? All right. I want to thank you for your time and attention. This has been another episode of Daring Dialogues. If you want to join us for the talk back, you can join us over on IG. This conversation is still going on over on Instagram. All right. So if you want to join us for the second part of this conversation, Click on over to Instagram at Daring Dialogues is my handle. You'll be able to find us for the talk back. Take care, most importantly, and be right. Thank you for your time. All right.